Now, before I get into my review of episode 8 of Goosebumps titled You Can't Scare Me, I want to give a special thank you and a shout out to Sony Pictures Television for sending some merchandise and some goodies my way for being a fan of the first season. They sent me a amazing hat. I mean, it fits perfectly, it's comfortable, it's just the right size, and it's amazing. They also sent me 5 original Goosebumps books with a book tin. Like, all 5 are in here. It's amazing. It's fantastic. And if you're curious as to know what 5 books are in here, it's Stay Out of the Basement, The Werewolf of Fever Swamp, The Haunted School, Piano Lessons Can Be Murder, and The Cuckoo Clock of Doom. And they also sent me this amazing tote bag. Large. I mean, I'm definitely going to carry this around and show my support for Goosebumps. I mean, look at this. Look at the amazing things they sent. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, come on, right? So good. It's fun. And they also sent me this little thank you postcard for being a fan of the series. I want to thank you so much to Sony Pictures Television for sending me the merchandise and the goodies. Very humble and very appreciative. Now, let's get into my episode 8 review of Goosebumps. Now, this episode starts off with, after the friends fall through the pages of the scrapbook, it disintegrates. And the oldest pages they find in a way that it's a very different feeling than what the previous episode is. Every corner they turn, something happens, and a big villain is still around who you think was long gone. Now, after that, we see that they find Harold's parents' spirits waiting for them and him, and just as Mr. Bratt manages to draw them out, find a way out for them. And Justin Long is fantastic in this. Like, seeing him in Goosebumps is really, really fun, really great. And in a way, they find and they rush to Nora before Harold does. And Harold takes back control of Mr. Bratt's body. You're like, holy crap, how many times can this happen over and over again when Mr. Bratt just kind of is struggling for control over his own body? Harold then takes over once again. And it's funny because then, in a way, there's a cabin, and after a lengthy chase that knocks out Nora, Harold kind of retrieves and finds, you guessed it, Slappy. This demonic, crazy, annoying doll is back once again. Like, you thought Night of the Living Dummy was weird, and then the episode after that, this is even crazier. Like, who would have thought Slappy would be this prominent in the later episodes after the first episode 5 premiere? Now, the children spot Mr. Bratt's car parked on the road, and Lucas and Margaret and kind of Isaiah follow on foot, while James and Isabella stay back and stay put. Now, all the while, they are soon joined by all their parents, which I did not expect at all to happen, but it was really nice to see that. You don't really get that in the original series at all. Sometimes you get that in the books, but seeing this in the new series was really nice to see all the parents come together. Also, they themselves are looking for Nora for a certain specific reason. Now, Lucas and Margot find Nora uninjured, and they kind of, in a way, see that Isaiah slips and hangs on a cliff with Harold and a whole, again, Slappy looming over them. And it's like, well, could this get any more creepier and insane and weird? No. Anytime you see Slappy, of course something weird's going to happen, and something weird does happen. Now, just as Harold is about to kill Isaiah, everyone arrives and kind of pleads their case with him to stop. Slappy tries to have that influence, that holdover, and it's like, okay, Slappy needs to stop. What's happening? What's going on? Well, Margaret kind of tells about his parents and how, what happened and how they forgave him and everything. And that leads to Harold coming back to his senses in a way and kind of rescuing Isaiah before throwing Slappy down the cliff and over the cliff. And you're like, thank God, sigh of relief, we can move on. Well, his spirit does leave Mr. Bratt's body and joins his parents in a touching moment in the afterlife while he's now at peace. It was a very, very interesting thing to see. Did not expect it, especially with this being episode 8. And thinking that Slappy isn't a threat anymore, the children and their parents and a free Mr. Bratt now kind of return home. But then Slappy down the cliff, we focus on him, and then his eyes open up And that's the end of the episode. This episode was intense, crazy, emotional, probably the most emotional episode of this season of Goosebumps in a way, and it's absolutely mind-blowing how it all happens, and it's just really weird. Seeing Slappy have this much influence over a character, one person, and everyone knowing what Slappy is capable of is insane. And then how them falling into the world of this scrapbook and is disintegrating, and then Mr. Brat kind of drawing a way out is so original and new that you wouldn't get that in the original series. But now, the next episode, episode 9, is titled Night of the Living Dummy, Part 2. Another Slappy-filled episode, which is going to be intense, I'm sure. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be in your face. I mean, I thought, episode 6, Night of the Living Dummy, was intense and just crazy, getting the backstory of who Slappy was. It was. And then you had episode 7. Slappy is still prominent. But then also, once again, now, in episode 8, he's prominent once again. And he's going to be the focus for a second time, maybe third, in episode 9. This season has 10 episodes. There are many out there who kind of find that this is dragging on in a way with certain how episodes of Goosebumps are going. But you know what? That's just like your opinion, man. I love this series. It's fun. It's great. I'm a fan of it. I love the writing, the chemistry. Seeing Slappy in a new design and new backstory is great. It's scary. It's creepy. It's what you want. If you were a child like me in the 90s, in the early 2000s, you're growing up, you read the books, you know the original series, then you have kids now. Then you show them this. It's fantastic. It's fun. It's great. It's probably one of the most interesting TV shows out right now that has a mix of comedy and horror. There's a lot of nice homages to the original series, and having each episode focused on a title of the original Goosebumps books, fantastic. I absolutely love it. And knowing that episode 10, the season 1 finale, is Welcome to Horrorland, what antics are gonna happen? Can't wait. Love it. Fun. I mean, these episodes are not long at all. 37 to 50 minutes long. It's, pretty simple and easy, straightforward. Check it out. You'll love it. I love it. I know you will too. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought about this week's episode of Goosebumps, episode 8, titled You Can't Scare Me. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? What do you think about the aspect of seeing Slappy once again? Do you think that he's this big influence of everyone? Or, do you think that there's a bigger villain in this? Or do you think that he's the main villain? Do you like that Slappy's the main villain? Does he creep you out like he creeps me out? And, do you think that this is just the beginning of the end, or the end of the beginning of how every character kind of, thinks that everything's okay? Or what do you think Slappy has up his sleeves now? Let me know in the comment section below about all the questions I just asked. And be sure you click that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for new review videos on my channel. I will see you all in the next review video, and be sure you tune in next week for my episode 9 review of Goosebumps, titled Night of the Living Dummy, Part 2. And once again, I do want to thank Sony Pictures Television for sending out the goodies and the merchandising, the tote bag, the hat, and the book tin. Very, very humble and appreciative, and thank you so much. I will see you all in the next video.